Howdy, gang. Howdy, gang. This is Andy Griffith. I hope you all enjoyed that good Griffin's barbecue. I sure miss it. We ain't got nothing like that out here in the West, I'll tell you that right now. It's been a long time since my voice has been heard around old Goldsboro High School. I don't know whether it's right for a man as dumb as me to speak in such a place of learning or not. I remember my first day of work down there when I was a teacher. I remember I was teaching speech, trying to get them young'uns to talk without a southern accent, if you can believe it or not. Blind leading the blind. It was a practice that was not only stupid and impossible, but it was kind of irritating to all concerned. I remember my very first day, I was trying to teach them to say coffee without saying coffee. I was trying to get them to say coffee or something like that. And I wrote it on the blackboard, and don't you know I misspelled it? That kind of got me off on the wrong foot right there. So I guess it's only proper to have the part of the honor to the best teacher to be a tape from the worst teacher. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. Cliff, I tell you the truth, I remember the many years that I've spent with you both in the Lost Colony and in Goldsboro. They're highly profitable years to me, and I thank you very much for all the advice and the encouragement that you gave me all those years. And I think that the scholarship fund in your name is the finest thing that I ever heard of. But then again, when you think of it, there ought to be such a thing. To honor a man who has successfully led young people in the right direction for 20 years the way you have. And I, for one, along with everybody else, want to thank you, Cliff. And me and Barbara will try to get down there and see you as soon as we can. Of course, I stay pretty busy out here, but you never can tell. We might get a break sometime and get a chance to run down there. I'd like to see everybody else in Goldsboro, too. It's been a long time since we've been down there. I run into old Bob Armstrong the other day. Bob, he's doing well. He's rented him out a room somewhere where he can write, and he's writing on a novel now. And he says he's improving his writing all the time. Him and Ann, they got 4 or 5 young'uns. I lose count. Ann stays pretty good size most of the time. I understand you're going to write 2 or 3 books. I want several copies of all of them. Be sure and mention my name in it somewhere if you can. Barbara and my children send their regards to you. They're all well, doing fine, feeling good. We are looking forward to getting south as soon as we can. Now, I'll finish up my part of it here, but one other thing I wanted to say before I did. Cliff, you're still #1 first in pencil rolling all over the country. You might have to explain that to them, Cliff. But I remember it pretty well. I hope the old porthole's still doing good. Maybe you don't call it that anymore. But I remember the porthole. I remember a lot of things. Room 16, room 21, and all of them. Hope everybody's doing well. I'll see you now, and congratulations.
Hello, Clifton. This is Johnny Grant out in Hollywood. Congratulations on your anniversary dinner. I'm sorry I can't be with you. They really got me on the go out here. Last night I did a show at Travis Air Force Base. Hey, and Cliff, guess who went with me? Jane Mansfield. Not bad for an old country boy, huh? And Cliff, she was the right gal to take along. First time I ever saw pilots leave a vapor trail without their planes. I won't say Jane shook up the crew, but it was the first time I ever had to feather a co-pilot. No kidding, though, Clifton. I mentioned Jane in hopes that your male students will study a little harder and come on out to Hollywood. Hey, these gals are all right out here, Cliff. Hope you're feeling good tonight. I understand you've been a little under the weather. Why don't you come on out here and visit with a couple of my young friends, Dr. Kildare and Ben Casey. I think they can use a little coaching. You know, out here, Cliff, we have so many medical shows. Before you can tune in Channel 4, you have to make an appointment. True, we have one medical show so snooty you can't even get it. They don't make house calls. There's one thing that baffles me, though, Cliff. With all these great medics on TV, why does Chester still have a stiff leg? To be serious, though, for a moment, Mr. B, although I haven't been home much lately, I have kept up with your activities through the News Argus and the good old gang there at WGBR, and my sister Jane, and I think you know my brother-in-law, old Happy Harvey Snipes. And in closing, Clifton, I'd like to pass along my heartiest congratulations to you on this occasion. I know the warm feeling you must have in your heart tonight as you look around the room and see the smiling faces on so many of your friends. And when modern North Carolina history is written, there will surely be several pages dedicated to you and your untiring efforts for Goldsboro High School and the Lost Colony. If at any time I can be of any assistance to your students coming out to Hollywood, please call on me. And Cliff, please say hello to all our mutual friends attending your dinner. A little story here that you might get a chuckle out of. A couple of nights ago, I had the pleasure of having dinner with Edgar Bergen at the Brown Derby here in Hollywood. Jack Benny walked in. The place was very crowded, no place for him to sit, so we asked him to join us. Cliff, you know, when dinner was over, Jack Benny asked for the check. On the way out, I said, Jack, I was very surprised when you asked for the check. He said, so was I. And furthermore, that's the last time I'll ever have dinner with a ventriloquist. There's one more making the rounds out here. You might have heard it, just in case you haven't. Bob Hope told me this one. It's about our president. As you know, Mr. Kennedy had three alternatives in Cuba. He could have sent his father down to buy it, Billy Saul Estes to steal it, or Harry S. Truman to tell him what to do with it. That's about all from here, Cliff. Again, good luck and good night from Hollywood.